Welcome back, sports fans. Mike Fussell here with your latest weekend action. Tonight we'll take a look at some sports we don't usually get to check out, but up first, it was race day at Pioneer Park earlier this morning. Runners got their blood pumping for the 23rd annual Mosquito Meander 5K. The event started at the entrance of Pioneer Park and traveled around town, finishing in the heart of Alaska Land. Once racers finished, they could participate in a number of festivities, such as a petting zoo. Proceeds from the event benefit Fairbanks Counseling and Adoption. This year's race saw a photo finish for the #1 spot. Keel Simon, wearing bib number 399, and Ross Enlow fought it out until the very end, finishing just a fraction of a second apart from each other. Simon, who also goes by the name Dragon thanks to a high school yearbook photo, would end up winning the race. He says he felt the competitive push throughout most of the course.
Yeah, pretty much that through the whole race, except for the start there. Those guys got a bit ahead of me, and I just wanted to keep up, see how it would go. And then coming into the finish, that one was tough because I was actually a little bit behind him. I was like a good 10, 15 feet behind him. And then we got into the straightaway coming in for the finish, and I evened out with him, and then we started sprinting, and that was brutal.
And it's not uncommon to see trucks hauling people, but people pulling trucks, well, that's a different story. Take a look at this. The truck pull was just one of several events at the Northside Strongman Classic at North Pole High School earlier today. The semi weighed in at 18,500 pounds. And in the heavyweight divisions, James Hendrickson finished in first place, pulling the vehicle the full length of the course in 31.86 seconds. Other events included a press medley, deadlift, and a challenge where athletes carried large concrete boulders called Atlas stones. More than 35 competitors from teams around the state joined in on the competition, which is only in its second year. Owner of Northside Athletics, Matthew Sadler, says winning the overall challenge is about strategy and playing your cards right.
Learning to play the game. Don't try to kill yourself all in one event. You know, if it's not your strongest event, don't get flustered by that. You still have 4 more events to do. This is the second annual Northside Classic. There are 5 events. It's a sanctioned event by North American Strongman. All competitors who win the event can go to nationals, qualify for nationals in October.
And the Alaska Gold Panthers were on the road for their first game of the season last night. The team kicked things off at Coral Seymour Memorial Park in Kenai against the Peninsula Oilers. The game would start slow but heat up in the 3rd inning. The Oilers batted in 2 runs, and the Gold Panthers' Rene Martinez would nab an RBI, making it a 2-1 ball game. Fairbanks struggled to cross home plate from then on, though, but Peninsula would tally a point in both the 5th and 6th inning, and that's how the match would end up, giving the Oilers a 4-1 victory. The Gold Panthers will be back in town next week for a full series. And the Alaska AA Wild Legion baseball team is now in regular season play. The Fairbanks Post 30 squad took on the South Post 4 group from Anchorage yesterday night. The teams are made up of top high school and aged athletes from each area. South came out swinging. They would bat in a number of runs throughout the first 3 innings. That left the score at 11-0 in the top of the 3rd. From then on, the Wild just couldn't muster up the energy to come back from the double-digit deficit. Scoring would halt with South at bat as well. That would leave the game with the Anchorage squad on top in a final score of 11-0. And don't forget, we'll be at the Midnight Sun Run next Saturday live at 11 p.m. So if you're not out enjoying the festivities, tune in to catch all the action. We'll be covering the race and the fun that goes along with it. But for now, we're about at the buzzer for sports tonight. Katie Looper is up next with your full weather forecast. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next weekend.